Welcome to the Girl Power Alliance podcast, where you're going to meet and hear from some inspiring women with incredible stories who are leading in business and in faith. We are on a mission to impact the world by empowering women to dream bigger through kingdom-minded mentoring and leadership. This is where women grow. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Power Alliance podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my guest is stunningly beautiful. If you're listening, you're going to get to hear her beautiful voice in just a minute. Let me tell you a little bit about Giselle. She is a recovery publicist who is now your personal branding coach. She serves those who are asking themselves, how am I supposed to do what I do and add creating content, posting, flying on social media? Or the human who is like, I'm too busy to learn this whole new thing. That actually is me. Just so you know, Giselle, that is actually me. Giselle serves those awesome peeps and loves giving them lots of tools and framework to build their influence and community across social platforms. But most importantly, she loves teaching how to do it with consistency, carving out a couple hours a month to create content and a few minutes a day to engage with their thriving community. She compassionately answers the pain point of how concerning building influence and community across social media platforms. It's about extracting your magic, creating a culture based on your values, and sharing where your core customer can feel relief, knowing that you exist. I mean, I feel like that right there, we're done. That's a huge takeaway.
There's the podcast.
Welcome, Giselle.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. You're stunning. You look so radiant in red. That's like your color.
Thank you. I think it's a Latina thing.
Is it? It's like a power color. You're just like vibrant, powerful. I love it.
Well, you look absolutely gorgeous in pink. So there you go.
And I literally never wear pink, but I was just feeling it today. It's like,
but it looks
feeling the pink. I'm not going to, just to be totally like transparent, I have my bathing suit on underneath. So as soon as we're done, I'm going out to the pool.
Okay. Transparency here. I have workout leggings.
That's me. Waist up. Waist up. Mine is not waist up because this is an actual dress, but underneath the dress is my bathing suit.
Oh my gosh. I love it. So what's so funny is I did an Instagram post on stories where it was like the picture of what you can see and then the reality. And I was just like, and I've gotten so much feedback like, oh my God, that is hilarious. Cause it's truth. That's our life right now.
It is I did it yesterday. I had like jewelry on from the waist up, but then I showed a little boomerang that I literally had workout shorts below. I was like, well, thank you for joining me on the podcast today. I'm so excited for women to connect with you and just share a little bit more. I mean, I talked about what you do in your business, but just tell everybody a little bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. So I am an empowerment buff. I love women and I love to empower them. I like to show them that there's so much more that can get accomplished if you uplift each other, you share each other's awesome, instead of seeing each other as competition or seeing each other as anything other than just amazing sisterhood.
Yes.
And so I've led with that for a very long time. Over a decade, I started something called Positive Only Women, made it a nonprofit, failed miserably, still was itching. We grew it to over 2,000 women locally. Wow. But I didn't do it right. You know, when you don't know something, you just don't know something. And so, but we tried. And then Fem City fell in my lap. And Fem City, I'm one of 9 leaders in this global organization of 30,000 women. It's just a beautiful organization. And the whole purpose is women supporting women. So the qualification is be a woman and love the success of other women. And so I lead with that in everything that I do. And then so that's me in a nutshell, other than being, a really proud mom and have the most amazing husband.
Yay. That's big too. That's a big,
it is.
That's everything to us. Well, I'm so happy to have you, and you just have energy coming through the screen. If you're watching the video, you can see it, but I know you can hear it if you're just listening to the podcast. Girl Power Alliance, it's very similar. I mean, we're all about qualifications, be a woman, Be all about no competition and all about collaboration. And then the third little element for us is love Jesus.
Yeah.
So
I
I
love
would
that.
love for you to kind of weave into your story how your faith has impacted what you do, who you do it with. That's
Yeah.
I know that that's going to be a big part of this here.
Absolutely. I mean, I blindly follow. So what I mean by that is that I know he has my back. And so whenever I feel overwhelmed, whenever I feel doubt, it probably takes me about 10 seconds. And I've learned to do this. Okay. So over time, it's not like I've always been this way, but my husband he really has this beautiful relationship with God, and you'll never see him be anything other than calm and at peace, and
Wow.
things could be falling. I mean, it could be a disaster out there. Actually, where we live, COVID is really scary. Like, our numbers are outrageously high.
Where are you?
I'm in South Texas. So if you Google South Texas, we're like the hot spot. We're New York. What New York was, we are New York. And so it's kind of scary, but you will see him just calm as a cucumber, right? And this is what he taught me over a decade ago. And thank God I'm able to live with this man and learn from him. But he says he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. So all of this means something, and you just have to have faith. It all means something. And if you allow him to push you into the direction he needs you to go, not in the direction you want to go, so you don't know what you need, he knows. And so it's something I literally let go, and I will get pushed. And sometimes it's super scary, but you know that feeling in your chest when you're like, God, what is that pressure? It's God. He's like, all right, this is going to be scary for you, but it's going to be good for you. And so I lean into that, and I actually get really excited when I get those little butterfly feelings or pressure that feels like I can't breathe. Either one.
And that was the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're so cute, Michelle.
That's so true. And it really is.
It's hard to do, though.
It's so easy to let the words come out of your mouth. So much harder to actually live it out, because we're just I'm speaking for myself. I'm just controlling.
Yeah.
Like I want to know where my foot's going to land. I want to know that I'm making the right decision. I want to know what I want to know. And so the whole, the very concept of faith is realizing I don't know squat. He knows it all. And to just continue to walk, leaning on the Holy Spirit and trusting. So much harder to do than it is to say.
It's so much harder to do, but gosh, when you get really good at, like, I have a method. So,
let's hear it.
Yeah, I have a method. I have, in the last 2 years, have gotten really good at meditating. And I believe that is when you're with him.
Yes.
People can call it the universe. They can call it whatever they want to call it. We all have our thing that we call it, but you're with God at that moment. And so life is going to happen. Pressures are going to happen. Challenges are going to happen. The scariest thing is when, somebody you absolutely adore and love is sick, right?
Yes.
But if you really have faith and you really believe, maybe he's calling them already. And is there not a better place to be?
I know. I know.
It's
and
scary,
it is
but
scary.
It's true.
I always think about this, when we lose people that we love, we're grieving for ourselves. Because if you are a follower of Christ, if you believe in Jesus, then you know that they're in heaven, and that's like the ultimate, right? So
Yeah.
we're grieving ourselves.
Yeah, of course we are. Yeah, that's what it is. It's us missing. It's our ego. Like, it really is. It's what we want, what we don't have, and faith is about just leaving it all with him. All of it.
Yeah. And for me, I'll just speak, I won't speak for other people, but for me, it's daily and sometimes hourly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that's so fair. It's true.
How did you get into what you're doing?
So I was a publicist, and let's go back. I was an international flight attendant. So if you're a flight attendant out there, you know what I'm talking about. But flight attendants love to they don't like to do VIP. They don't like to do first class. They like to do the back part, because especially on long trips. Yeah. Believe it or not. Why? Because you do the cart, you give people their drink, and then you go sit in the back and you don't do anything else. Me, however, I loved first class because I was like, who is that? What have they done? What are, and I would pick their brain. And the ones that like to talk, I would ask them a million questions, right? Because I wanted to know like what made them do what they do.
How could they afford first class?
Yeah. A lot of times it was miles and, they did it a lot for work. So that was a lot of the time. Very rarely was it somebody paying, right?
Oh.
But again, they're fascinating people doing fascinating things. And I always had this need to, like, I always listened and I always wanted to connect people, right? So I would make these beautiful relationships. And then, back home, I always was involved in the community. So it was just this beautiful, like, synergy of being able to like connect people. They gave me a lot of joy, right? So owned nightclubs in my late 20s.
Cool.
Loved giving them an experience. So in first class, gave them an experience. I worked the entire thing, made sure the ones that wanted to sleep had pillows and all the good stuff, and made sure that the ones that wanted to chat, we chatted, make sure the ones that wanted to drink, they got all they wanted. And so I just loved connecting with people and making sure that they were having this incredible experience. Nightclubs, I think it was that need and trying to find myself also, realized real quickly 7 years into it that no, like that's not what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. And then got into becoming a publicist, which was very natural to me. And I'm very well known in my community. So it was just a very natural fit to connect people. And I also listened really well. So what were people needing? How were they communicating? How was I getting my client, to those people, their core customer, to see the client for the magic that they had, right? And then social media happened, which was like, yes, I can help the small business person, because that was my passion and my love, just to help someone that just couldn't see how they were going to do it. Like, how am I going to do it? I don't have the money. I don't have the, whatever it was, and show them they could do it, right? And social media gave us that opportunity to do that. The evolution has been what it is now. Now I teach instead of doing it, branding them and connecting. I now teach them how to do it for themselves, because social media is a space that people fear because they fear to be judged. But the thing is, or they fear about security or like whatever. Honestly, it's a place that you have complete control of, because you can curate your community. So you can make sure you curate people of faith. You can curate people of great energy, of support. And I have the most beautiful, amazing community. The other thing is that when you share authentically, when you really truly open up and share all of it and are unapologetic, which means I'm unapologetic about my faith. I'm unapologetic about how much I love my husband. I'm unapologetic about how I empower women. I'm unapologetic of people also that are very politically one-sided and choose to judge others because of things like that. So I'm also very vocal about that, about like lead with love, like lead with compassion, lead with also understanding that you're not going to always agree, right? Like, exactly. And that's okay. And then that's okay. So sharing, and so people connect with that. Like, and you make beautiful friends like you and I, like, we're going to be in each other's lives now. I get to follow you. I get to cheer you on forever. And it's just beautiful because this happens because of social media. Like, I found you because, I just think about that for a moment.
It's powerful.
I'm sitting here having a conversation with you and you're following, and I feel so like blessed and humbled by that. Like, and it's because I put in the work. God led me to you, because we know that that's how it happened.
100%.
Because we are open. We're open, and we're able to receive, and He just pushes us in the right direction, and I just love it.
Well, who wouldn't fall in love with you? Your energy is contagious, first of all. But I agree with you. I think that the creation of social media, while there's a lot of junk, like the internet, there's junk, but there's so much power and beauty in it, especially during this season, not just like for us, but in the world this season, where people are being separated, right? Like we're being pushed at home, and social distancing, don't go to church. All these things. If it wasn't for the fact that we could connect like this, I can't even imagine how isolated and how it would feel. So the internet, and, we're meeting on the Zoom right now. If it wasn't for avenues like this, I think I would have fallen apart.
Of course, because we would be isolated. We would be. Think about how lucky
I can't imagine.
are. I can't either. So God has a plan. We're here for a reason. What's going on in the world is there's a reason to cleanse. There's a reason to reboot, I like to say, in our soul, in the world. So thank God we have this.
Truly, truly, thank God. So let me ask you, when you work with, do you work with people? Are you doing group coaching or teaching of people? Do you teach them one-on-one? Do you have courses? How do you teach them?
Absolutely. So I have courses. I have an event on July 18th and it's
a real
completely
event?
Free. Yeah. I have my
like
husband and I, we have a whole event. Like this is the stage.
I love it.
It's going to be the stage. And my husband and I are going to teach the 4 C's to social media success. It's going to be, I call a social media intensive, which means we are going to go dig deep. We're going to do so we have a VIP, which is going to be on Zoom, and those will be able to do masterminds. We'll teach like the first C, and then you'll go do a mastermind and you'll dig deep. We have challenges and we have workshops it's going to be amazing. And then people that are live, that are on the private Facebook group that launches that day, they will have challenges to do in the social media page. And so it's going to be so fun. First time that my husband and I do this. I've done a ton of events for people. Again, I was a publicist, right? But never, ever for my business.
Oh, ever. This is your first one.
Yeah, because I've done workshops like mad, but we're now this whole new world, right? So my workshops was I traveled and I would do consulting, so I would build it in-house for government or like for local government or for corporations or I do it for realtors or whatever. But it was always live. It was always, I was in a classroom.
Yeah. Which I'm sure you're amazing because of your energy. You're probably have such an impact on people.
Thank you so much. That's, my word in 2019, I remember praying like for the word, right? And I was like, impact, like I want to be impactful. That was 2019, right? My word for 2020 is abundance. Like,
ooh,
yeah, like, and it was clear. And which is kind of strange because from one day to the next on March 16th, I lost almost everything. Like everything I had for 2020, everyone canceled. I mean, that's
overwhelming.
Scary. That's so scary. But 2 weeks I was a zombie. 2 weeks I was a zombie. I don't think I was stressed because I prayed, I think all day, every day, all day, but I was a zombie. I didn't know what next moves. And maybe I wasn't supposed to know. Maybe I just needed to just be still. And I was. And then I was like, let's get to work. What are we going to do?
Pivot.
Yeah. And so everything, courses, the event, one-on-one coaching on Zoom, all of it. And it's been actually extraordinary. Like really.
So you put it all together then?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you did that hyper speed.
Well, I mean, I do workshops. So in those workshops, we're talking about.
So you just took that and you made it so accessible to the masses.
Yes. And that's, I think, why my word was abundant, because he was
absolutely. Like, your audience is way bigger now.
You don't know this yet. I'm sure that he was saying, you don't know this yet, but watch out.
He's like, just be calm. I gotcha.
It's going to be really scary.
Well, what a testament, because I think a lot of people felt like that. And I just, I know so many people that own small businesses and gyms and different things, and had a number of conversations like, listen, how quickly can you pivot? How quickly can you take what you've done and create something online that still adds value that you can monetize? And a ton of people have done it. And I think the interesting thing about small business, for example, is a lot of them were way behind on the times, like way behind. And they needed to do this anyway, but this forced it. So matter of fact, a girlfriend of mine locally owns a gym, and she does kind of like circuit training type of things. And I had been telling her like for a long time, you could get a bigger audience for what you do. It's like she does like biblical workouts, are really awesome.
Oh, wow.
But she had no choice because they closed the gym. And so she happened to have a conversation with me and said, I might close the gym like permanently because she was able to monetize, just pivot. So her whole business model
That's
looks different.
awesome though.
Working at home, doing these things, having like
You know how incredible that is? Like, so imagine when we are on the other side of this and she's in Bali working,
yes,
China working,
yes.
wherever she desires.
That's amazing. The
That's
ability to pivot like that, I think, has been instrumental. And so, you did it, and look at you, abundance. Yes.
Yes.
How incredible.
I'm excited about it.
So then, okay, you had this major pivot, took your kind of localized events and made them available to the globe at large. What's next for you?
Yes. I want to get on stages. I want to speak these stages. I want to speak. I have one. It's called The Best You. It's Les Brown is speaking in it. Of course.
Yes, I'm very familiar.
So it's like where the speakers that are about to like start to speak get to have this opportunity. I'm all for it. I'm totally like grateful for these opportunities. Didn't even know they existed, FYI, because my focus wasn't on there. So that's August 1st, which I'm excited about. So the bigger picture is I just want to reach my audience. Like, to be honest, it's not about anything other than I want everybody to have the opportunity. Like, sometimes people just need to be validated. So I want to validate anyone that's listening. You have magic. You're so amazing just the way that you are. You just have to lean into it. Because there's a tribe, there's a community out there that needs you. And so you've got to get comfortable with social media. You've got to get comfortable with Zoom. You've got to get comfortable with being in this space because people need you. And so you need to learn how to do it.
Yes, they do. You have to step up into the new world, and which is technology. No matter what your business is, you have to have a presence. How can people find you?
The easiest way to find me is I am the Branding Professor on Instagram. Probably you can find me on the Branding Professor on all social media platforms, or boldinstitute.com. Not institute like the way you spell it, but Insta like Instagram. Insta-tute.
Cute. Really cute. Well, if you're not sure about that, don't worry, because if you're listening to this on a podcast, all of her information will be available for you in the show notes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just below the video, you'll see all of her information so you can connect with her and like get a little bit of her magic sprinkled all over you.
Oh, Michelle, thank you. And I think I'm going to have courses in your space too.
So excited about that. So if you're a member, okay, two things. If you're not a member, become a member. But if you're a member, look forward to if you're listening to this, I know you're pumped about getting more of her. So you're going to have access to some of her information within the platform. And I know there'll be massive takeaways because there's been massive takeaways for me just on this.
Thank you. And I'm here for anybody who needs me. I answer everything myself because I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Yes. And if you have a question and I can answer it, I want to. I want to.
Who wouldn't want to work with you?
Thank you.
If they don't want to work with you, there's something wrong with them.
I don't need them.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here with us, praying for health for you guys as you're kind of hunkered down with this crazy COVID stuff. And we'll be hearing more from you for sure.
Thank you, Michelle, for having me. So grateful.
Did you fall in love with Giselle as much as I did? What a powerhouse. She's an energy bunny. I mean, just even listening to her voice, I'm certain that you got energized. Just love that woman. And by the way, guess what today is? Today is day 1 of the Bloom Summit. Are you registered for that? If you're listening to this podcast, maybe you're not even registered for the Bloom Summit. Head over to thebloomsummit.com, get registered, and you have access to what was live today and tomorrow, what is going to be live tomorrow. And if you actually upgrade to the VIP membership, you can listen to it like in perpetuity and have access to all the bonus materials. Head over to thebloomsummit.com. And if you're already a member, you have access to all that stuff as a perk to your membership. How cool is that? And if you want to be a member, all you have to do is go over to girlpoweralliance.com and join our amazing family. our amazing community of women who live to encourage, empower, and equip other women to growing in their faith, growing in their skills, in their relationships, growing in their life. I mean, we cover the gamut, mind, body, spirit. We really know that, we are whole beings and that we have to touch on every aspect in order to fulfill our God-given purpose on this planet. God made you for something amazing, and we want to help you tap into it and then to have a massive impact on those around you. Even if it's your family or your neighbors, it's that important. And at Girl Power Alliance, we know one thing. This is where women grow.